You bored? Good. Come hang out with me. Hello, and welcome to another episode of RARi Tube. It occurred to me that I never introduced myself during these videos or the station. I'm trying to negotiate that and figure out how much of me you guys want, or just the message, because maybe it's just the message and the delivery that's working. Regardless, you let me know. You answer in the comments. Does it bother you if I don't do a formal introduction? Or, is it cool? Or, yeah, do you need me to introduce myself as well? Anyway, I watch a lot of YouTube videos and they generally just jump right in, so I'm going to continue to do that. I wanted to talk to you today about something that we all need, no matter what we're trying to do when it comes to building a business, pursuing a goal, building your craft, generating a new career in a new industry. We're going to talk about the L word. And no, it is not the L word that you are thinking of. It's leadership. I know, it's not nearly as sexy as the other L word. Love, luxury, liquidity. Ooh, that could work too. Leadership requires so much of ourselves. And if you're pursuing anything and you're trying to actualize a goal, it requires you to have a mindset that isn't really set in the present. You almost have to be kind of like a visionary and say to yourself, I could see this thing happening. And if I did this and did this and this thing happen, I could see this happening in this way. And we all know that the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. Comment below if you know what book that's from. It's kind of an easy one. Comment the author. Ooh, don't Google it. Comment the author. And I'm author. Comment the author. And I probably did not quote that 100% accurately, but you get the point. It's important to make plans, but just as important as making plans is the flexibility to pivot. Because like we talked about in the last episode, things are going to happen that are unexpected, and the things that you expect to go one way are not. Even with the best laid plans, life happens and things change. And a lot of times we look at these things as obstacles that are discouraging to us, when in actuality, they're usually an opportunity to get exposed to something different, to learn something that's going to aid you even more on your journey. And it's the stuff that really separates the people that get things done and the people that talk about getting things done, but then stop at the first line of difficulty or trouble. So along the lines of leadership, I wanted to tell you a story. And I've mentioned to you guys before my short film, Foster, which I'm currently trying to get produced. I went through a rough period of time in my life, and what struggles that it brought out for me in life, it created all of this amazing artwork. And I started writing things that I was really proud of, that excited me to read and to even realize that I had the ability to create. And my artistic journey, kind of at the worst time of my life, took a big jump up. And it made me want to share my work with the world in a way that I've never, ever wanted to before. I love acting. I love being on set. But as an actor, you're showing up to do a job, and it's not your party. You're being invited to someone else's party. As a creative, as a writer who produces their own work or gets their work self-produced or indie produced, it's a different ballgame. You are hosting the party. You're finding the venue. You are inviting the right people. You're inviting the right vendors so that your people will be taken care of properly when they come into the space, so that you're setting the right vibe and everybody can have a great time. Being a director, being a writer, director, producer requires you to wear a lot of hats. And people often think that that's based on ego, but it's really based on necessity. Like, it's very hard to find people who not only want to support your vision, but can do so when you can't really afford to pay them, because that's the big thing. You've got to make a way before there is a way. That's the journey. So I started thinking about leadership, and I thought back to when I wrote Foster last year, which I wrote for Disney's Launchpad program. And it was a program for really new directors, which technically I'm not. I've directed a couple of projects now. And I said, I didn't get it, but I figured it's okay. I knew it wasn't 100% right for me. I understood the decision. But more importantly, it made me really determined to make this into a Disney movie. I don't know why, but I was like, Foster is going to be a Disney movie, whether they like it or not. Super ambitious, but I've never lacked for ambition. So here I am. I wrote this standalone short film that I thought was lovely, and people would read it. And at the end, they go, oh, that's so sweet. And men and women, everybody complimented the project. But when it wasn't accepted for the program, I had to pivot. I had to say, okay, is this a story that we want to continue to work on? Or is this maybe something that was a good exercise and you can put it away and maybe you can revisit it another time? I've written a lot of stuff since Foster, but what started to happen was that Foster kept calling me back. It's like when I wrote it, there's this little hero inside of it that even when I'm like, we don't really have the time, the resources, the energy, she's there like, it's okay, we'll find a way, we can do this. And it just kind of takes on a life of its own. So I continued to work on this project, and it evolved. And I attended Sundance Film Festival virtually last year, and I got to listen to a panel of first-time feature directors. And one of them was a director who had been able to fund a feature after making a short film that compelled people to want to see more. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is the cheat code. Like, what did he do? And I listened to him, and I took that information, and I went back to my script, and I rewrote it with the idea of trying to get people to want more at the end of it. Create a compelling story that was strong enough that they were invested now, but they still wanted more. And then the project shifted because they were supposed to be dancing, and I was speaking to an amazing choreographer that I was working with and who I hoped to work on the project. And he said, okay, so there's dancing, so do you have the music? And I said, oh, I gotta get music, right? Original music. And then does the music have words? After that, I realized that I wasn't just writing a film with young performers with music and dance, I was writing a musical. So I went to LA for a couple of weeks to visit a friend. And during that time, LA is really big on music. And so I tried to reach out to some people and connect with some really talented people that I'd met, and didn't find anything where I was like, I got the person who's right for this, that's excited about it, that sees the vision. I was a little discouraged, and I was like, I don't know, maybe is this not supposed to happen? But then a friend of mine was like, oh, I want to introduce you to this guy who owns a studio, and I met him, and he's an awesome person, and he's really talented. And it just so happened that they were doing something on my birthday, which was a few months ago. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I felt like this could be the thing that could lead me to the person that would be right to be a musical director for this project. And I attended. And it wasn't the first time, but building a relationship, I finally got him to say, you know what, I'll work on this project with you, and I can help you. You got to understand something. It's so important I'm taking it to this camera. The people that I have been dealing with do not have to deal with me. They are amazing. I'm talking Grammy, Emmy winners. They work with Grammy winners and Oscar winners, and they're amazing. And they've been saying yes to not just me, but these projects, which is so, so, so rewarding and makes me feel like keep fighting no matter what. So started working, and figuring out, okay, we got a musical director, we got a cinematographer, we got a crew, we got an awesome crew. I kept working on the script. I kept mining it, just you do rewrites and you send it out and you get feedback, and you have great people that give you feedback, honest feedback. And I have a friend of mine who is a brilliant script reader. I mean, she's so good. I feel guilty not paying her. And I said, like, I don't have the money to pay you right now, but you should be getting paid for this. And her response was, we're friends. Just think of me when you're writing roles on your project. Really? Amazing. So fortunate to have like these amazing people saying yes and helping this, because it is not something you do by yourself. It really does take a village to make a movie. So finally got to a really good place where I'm feeling really great about the script, came up with an idea for a cameo that is just so cool. And everybody I talk to this cameo about squeals, "Oh my goodness, that's such a great idea." Everybody's excited. I send the script to the people who I want to do a cameo. Everybody's got scripts. I'm constantly in Zoom meetings, like finding the different crew members for the team, just lining everything up so that when we get the funding, we're ready to go. The problem is we're not getting the funding. It's basically at a standstill because I can't find anyone to give the money to make this, even though it would be a great idea and a great investment because I'm creating this project so that it could become a feature film eventually. So, of course, in speaking about being flexible, what is required? Well, the first thing that's required is that you're able to process the changes and the things that are coming your way. And of course, the best way to do this is stress management. I mean, you can't really make the change if you can't think clearly, if you're overwhelmed by emotion and kind of what feels like the volatility of it all. And so along with that line, you know where I'm going with this. One of the first things we need to do is work out. But in the theme of pivoting and trying something different, we're working out in a new space today. So it's of course still health is wealth, but health and taking care of yourself can take a lot of different forms. And today we're just at a different gym. So enjoy this workout. Go move with me while I move. Health is wealth. This is how we process the stress. And when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about, once the stress is gone, how to create a new plan for yourself, just in case another storm comes your way. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. I hope you had a good workout. I know I got my sweat on, I got the body moving, I got the icky feelings of fear and self-doubt out, and now we're ready to problem solve. I think there is a strength that is required when you have something that is challenging or not easily attained. You need to be strong to get that through the process, to get it done. But as we know, things are going to go the way they need to go. And so you're going to have times when you need to adjust. And I think just as important as being strong and having a clear vision that you're ready to execute, it's just as important to be flexible and to understand when things aren't going the way you planned and what do we do differently and what's our next step. So thinking about pivoting and flexibility, it really put me in a mindset of what good leadership is, because I almost feel like being a leader is like being the captain of the boat or driving a semi. You know, you have this big thing, this big vessel, and it's not just you. There are other people on that vessel. There are other people that agree to get on that ride with you. And even when the waters get choppy, even when the road gets a little foggy and you can't really see what's next, you have to have the presence of mind to stay calm, to problem solve on the fly, and to let everyone around you know that they're still in good hands. Sometimes you have to know that it's going to work out, even when you don't know it's going to work out. And it totally is hard, but I think, and I don't love this saying, but I think this is the one time I'll use it, like fake it till you make it, in the sense of even if you don't fully have control, just fake it. And, you know, hopefully they'll stay on the boat with you and you'll eventually get to where you're going to go because the sun will come out and the ocean won't be so choppy and things will get a little smoother and you'll see land and you'll be like, oh my gosh, we're going right there. We're almost home. Here's the thing about being on the vessel. You're not on it alone, right? If you get people to buy into your vision and want to work with you, you're really fortunate. And other people's energy is not a small thing. Angela Doc Velasquez has agreed to be the musical director, and he is the owner of Invite Only Studio, and he is a amazing, amazing, I don't know if musician's the right word. He's a producer and a songwriter, and like the way that he creates songs, like I thought I would do something by writing my little lyrics and singing the songs to myself, but this is like real deal hit making. And I got a chance to visit his studio, Invite Only Studios, and you're going to be able to see a little bit of that. I love nighttime in New York, but you guys tell me if you have a preference over these videos. Like, do you enjoy the workout videos? Do you enjoy seeing the city? Do you enjoy seeing night views, day views? I kind of want to give it all to you, but I also have to figure out, you know, what's in tune with my life and the places that I go. And yeah, I want to share the journey with you. So going back to leadership and pivoting, it was amazing to get energetically refueled just being in a studio, in a creative environment where I got to see people creating things that I don't get to see, like, you know, songs being made. It's such a cool experience. And it really inspired me for Foster in thinking about, okay, so we're going to go this route, and how do we want to approach the music, and what does it sound, and what's in the script, and what do we want? So I still have a lot of questions. There's still a lot of things that we're figuring out. But one of the best parts was just, even if there's not an exact way to get the thing that you need now, how can we continue to build? How can we continue to show people that we're capable of getting things done? And like, honestly, this YouTube channel is a part of that journey. You know, RARi Tube is my proof to people that I'm capable of creating content for X amount of hours. And if you guys watch it, then that proves to people that I know how to entertain on some level. And maybe somebody's going to watch this and say, you know what? She's doing the thing, and I like what she's talking about, and I liked her show, and it made me feel good, and it inspired me a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to help her. Flexibility is just as important as strength and clarity of vision. You have to be able to adjust. And sometimes when things aren't happening, that door you're trying to open isn't opening, it's just because there's something else that you need to be exposed to. I remember how frustrated I was in LA, not being able to connect with people musically, meeting people but being disappointed or them not following up. And it was like, is this going to happen? And then effortlessly, I get back to New York, and one of my dearest friends is like, oh, you should meet this producer I wanted to introduce you to. And boom, this prolific producer turns out to be someone who says, yes, I want to work with you. I want to make some songs for your movie. We can do this. You never know what life has in store for you. We never know where the journey is going to take us. And that's why we go on the journey. It's an adventure. You are the leader of a brand new choose your own adventure. And there's a lot of stuff that you can choose, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen that isn't your choice. It just is the way of the road. But don't let that discourage you. That's just how it's supposed to happen. And find ways and people that want to share in your vision, because you may need their energy one day when you're tired and you're not certain. When you surround yourself with great people, it's the thing that's going to get you through on those days when you're uncertain. That's going to make you say, you know what? You got this, because these people would not be around you if you were a slouch. It's not about external validation, but it is understanding that the journey is going to deplete your energy at certain times. And it's just important to have people to create that village so that you're not alone. And on the days when you're uncertain, you're around them, you see what they've created through their dreams, through actualizing their goals. And it makes you say, you know what? This is possible after all. Thank you once again for joining in. Please comment below if you like this, if you're not crazy about it. Be nice. Don't be mean in my comments, please. This is a safe space of joy and creativity and inspiration, but I'm totally open to constructive criticism too. And yeah, let me know if you're connecting with this, if any of this is resonating with you. Please share with me any examples of this, if you have seen this in your life as well on your journey. And I just really appreciate you for stopping in as usual and watching. So thank you for watching. Be sure to click like, subscribe. Yeah, it's a crew and you're part of it now. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you soon. Bye.